Whoa, three-digit division. This looks tough. How can we use friendly multiples to help us solve large division problems? In this lesson, you will learn to divide three-digit dividends by using friendly multiples and extended facts of the divisor. Let's review multiples, and in particular, I want to introduce you to the idea of landmark multiples. You know that one group of 7 is 7, 5 groups of 7 is 35, and 10 groups of 7 is 70. Using the extensions of these three facts, so thinking that if one group of 7 is 7, then 10 groups of 7 is 70, 50 groups of 7 is 350, and 100 groups of 7 is 700. Using these landmark facts will help us get close to our dividend, saving us time and steps. Let's try the example. 504 divided by 7. So I'm going to go back to my landmark multiples, and I know that 100 groups of 7 is 700, and that's greater than 500, so I'm going to be looking at multiples of 7 that are in the tens. So looking at these three, I see that 7 times 50, 350, 350 is less than 500, so that could work. But I think I can get closer, so I'm going to start at 50 and go through my extended facts of 7. 7 times 60, 420. 7 times 70, 490. Got it. So let's take 70 groups of 7 out of 504, which gives us 14 remaining. 14. That's friendly. 7 times 2. And no more dividend. So now we're going to go through, recompose 504 into 490 plus 14, and 490 is 70 groups of 7, and 14 is 2 groups of 7. So our quotient, or solution, is 72 groups of 7 in 504. Let's look at one more. 297 divided by groups of 7. So I'm going to go back to those landmark multiples, and I see that 7 times 50 equals 350. Well, that's greater than 297. So I'm going to start there and work backwards. So 7 times 40 equals 280. That could work. Yeah, definitely. That's the one I'm going to choose. So I'm going to take 40 groups of 7, or 280, out of 297, leaving us with 17. And I know that 2 groups of 7 are in 17, and that leaves us with 3 remaining. So I've recomposed 297 as 280 plus 14 plus 3. And I know that there are 40 groups of 7 in 280 plus 2 groups of 7 in 14, and there aren't any groups of 7 in 3. So I have a remainder of 3. So our quotient is 42 groups of 7 in 297 with 3 remaining. The mistake that I notice most often is that students are so focused on working with multiples of 10 that when they get down to a lower digit dividend, because they can't take another 10 groups of 7 out, they stop early and report the remainder as, in this case, 17. Remember, your remainder will always be less than the divisor. Here's why. You know that if you tried to divide 1 into equal groups of 7, your quotient is going to be a fraction or a decimal, a number larger than 0 but less than 1. So we report this as 0 whole number groups and 1 remaining. Same applies for 2, 3, 4, 5, and in this case 6, because any dividend less than the divisor we can't take an even whole number group out of. Once we get to the divisor, we can subtract one group of 7 out of it. Same with 8. We can subtract one group of 7 and we'll have 1 remaining. So you know that if your remainder is larger than your divisor, you can subtract out another group of the divisor. In this lesson, you have learned to divide three-digit dividends by using friendly multiples and extended facts of the divisor.